Hello everyone, this is Talks by Kate, and today I ask you to slow down, open your mind, and listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not just news. It is not politics as usual. It is a story of pride, pain, courage, and a turning point that may change Africa's destiny forever. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sahel has spoken again, and this time, its voice is so loud that it echoes all the way to Washington, D.C. A decision meant to silence and weaken African nations has instead awakened something powerful, something unstoppable. When the United States announced a broad travel ban targeting citizens of Sahel countries, the message was clear and cold. You are not welcome. It was meant to isolate. It was meant to punish. It was meant to remind Africa who controls the gates of opportunity. For many years, such a move would have caused panic. Leaders would rush to negotiate. Citizens would feel trapped. Young people would feel their dreams slipping away. But this time was different. This time, Africa did not beg. Instead, a young leader stood firm. Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso did not shout. He did not insult. He did not bow. He looked at the closed doors of the West and chose to build new doors at home. While some expected fear, he responded with vision. Burkina Faso announced something shocking. $300 million, taken from its own nationalized gold and natural resources, would be invested in building ultra-modern universities and training centers inside the country. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Think about that for a moment. Money that once flowed out of Africa is now being used to build Africa. Wealth that once enriched foreign powers is now training African minds. These are not small schools. These are advanced institutions designed to train engineers, scientists, doctors, agricultural experts, and technology innovators. Places where African youth will learn nuclear science, modern farming, medicine, artificial intelligence, and industrial skills, right on African soil. For decades, Africa's brightest children were told a lie. To succeed, you must leave. Leave your village, leave your country, leave your continent. Scholarships were offered like gifts, but they came with invisible chains. Young Africans went abroad to study, and many never came back. Their knowledge built foreign hospitals, foreign companies, foreign nations. Meanwhile, back home, Africa suffered shortages. Too few doctors, too few engineers, too few experts. This was not an accident. It was a system. Captain Traoré said enough. He made it clear. Africa will no longer train its children for export. These new universities are not just buildings, they are shields. They are a promise that African talent will serve African people first. And here is what makes this moment even more powerful: the timing. The travel ban was supposed to weaken the Sahel. Instead, it gave leaders the final push to cut dependence on the West. If the doors are closed, then Africa will stop knocking. In response, Sahel nations made their own bold decision. They announced restrictions on American entry into their region, starting in 2026. Not out of hatred, but out of balance. Respect must go both ways. But even that is not the real story. The real story is this: Africa no longer needs permission to grow. Burkina Faso is not trying to prove anything to the West. It is proving something to itself. By partnering with countries like Russia and China, partners who focus on cooperation rather than control, the Sahel is gaining access to technology, training, and infrastructure without surrendering its sovereignty. This is not about choosing sides. It is about choosing dignity. Imagine young Burkinabe students walking into world-class laboratories without applying for visas. Imagine doctors trained at home, serving their own communities with pride. Imagine engineers designing systems for African cities, not foreign capitals. This is emotional because it touches something deep. belonging. For too long, African success was defined by escape. If you made it, you left. If you stayed, you were seen as stuck. That mindset is now breaking. These investments are changing how African youth see their future. Instead of dreaming of distant lands that reject them, they are dreaming of building right where they stand. They are seeing a future where staying is not failure but power. Critics say it is too ambitious. They say Africa does not have the capacity. They said the same thing about independence. They said the same thing about self-rule. History keeps proving them wrong. Construction is already happening. Plans are in motion. Students are preparing. This is not imagination. It is reality unfolding. And it does not stop with education. Burkina Faso, alongside Mali and Niger, is building something bigger. A united Sahel, shared resources, shared security, shared vision, gold mines reclaimed, foreign dependence reduced, strength built from within. For the first time in a long time, Africa is not reacting, it is leading. This is why some powers are uncomfortable. When Africa depends, it can be controlled. When Africa stands on its own feet, control fades. The old tools, visa threats, aid pressure, scholarship blackmail, are losing their power. The message from the Sahel is simple and strong. If you shut us out, we will grow without you. This is not hatred. This is self-respect. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing is not isolation. It is awakening. The Sahel is not pushing talent away. It is pulling it back home. It is saying to its children, you matter here. Your mind matters. Your future matters. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is showing a generation that leadership is not about pleasing foreign powers. It is about protecting your people's future. It is about making home so strong that no one feels forced to leave. Africa's story is changing, slowly but surely. The old narrative of weakness is cracking. In its place rises a new one of courage, strategy, and belief. The lions of Africa are no longer sleeping. They are studying, they are building, they are planning, and the world is watching. Thank you for staying with me on Talks by Kate. If this message moved you, if it made you think, if it gave you hope, please subscribe to this channel. Like this video, share it with others, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters, and together we keep telling Africa's story our way.